Welcome in, everyone, to our deep dive, this time into ICON 2025,
Vicon 2025.
the Interreg Communication Network meeting, which took place in sunny Alicante, Spain.
It's it.
And this event, it was really expertly coordinated by Nebosha and Rosa from Interreg Valencia. They
Absolutely.
had amazing support from the entire Interreg Communication team and the European Commission as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of support for this one. And it was a whirlwind, I think, for anybody who's looking to make their Interreg projects, really stand out and make a bigger impact.
Yeah. The energy was really great, I have to say, and there was a real sense of community among all the participants.
Yeah, definitely. So day one of this event kicked off with a session called Telling the Story of Interreg.
Okay.
And right away, it got really down to business, talking about, the changing political landscape in the EU.
Yeah, that's right. There's a real emphasis on the new priorities for the EU.
Yeah.
They're really focusing on the single market, tackling climate risks, and navigating this complex geopolitical landscape.
Right. And with all of that going on,
Mm.
um, how does Interreg fit into all of this, and how do we communicate its value when,
Yeah.
everyone's looking at the bigger picture?
Yeah, well, that was addressed head on in this session. They were highlighting how Interreg is already making strides in addressing these larger issues and proving to be a vital tool for tackling these complex challenges.
That's encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
So what else stood out for you from this session?
Well, they also highlighted the upcoming multi-annual financial framework consultation, or as it's known for short, the MFF.
The MFF.
And this is crucial because this consultation will determine how EU funding is allocated, which directly impacts Interreg projects.
Right. So this is a chance for stakeholders to really make their voices heard.
Absolutely. It's a chance to shape the future of funding.
Okay, so mark your calendars, everybody out there listening. Make sure that you get your voices heard for this consultation.
Definitely.
But moving on, um, there's a session that really caught my eye. It was called AI for Project Communication. Um, and AI is such a buzzword these days, so I was curious to see how it could be used for Interreg projects.
Me too. And the session did a really great job of cutting through the hype and revealing the practical applications of AI for communication.
Yeah, and they dove into this concept of prompt anatomy for tools like ChatGPT.
Prompt anatomy.
Yes.
Interesting.
What is that all about?
So essentially, it's all about structuring your requests to AI tools in a way that elicits the most relevant and effective responses. So think of it like giving clear instructions to a very capable assistant.
So it's not just asking any random question.
No.
It's about asking the right questions in the right way.
Exactly. And they gave a fascinating example of turning a dry, technical project description into a captivating story just by crafting the prompt carefully.
Right. I remember this. They walked us through creating an entire project video using AI, from refining the project description to generating animation and even music.
It was remarkable to see how AI could take those initial instructions and translate them into a cohesive visual narrative.
It was, but they also emphasized the importance of human oversight and ethical considerations.
Of course, AI is a tool, not a replacement for human judgment.
Yeah, we need to use it responsibly.
Absolutely.
So, the next session was communication milestones, and it was kind of like getting a sneak peek at Interreg's roadmap for the year.
Okay.
And they highlighted major events and initiatives that the listener out there you can actively participate in.
That's right. It wasn't just a list of events, though. It felt more like an invitation to get involved and to contribute to the Interreg community.
Definitely. And they specifically mentioned events like Interreg Go, the Interreg Slam finale,
Yes.
the Knowledge Fair 2025, Regio Stars 2025, even a social media campaign for Europe Day.
Wow, that's quite the lineup.
It's amazing to see how they're using these events to showcase success stories, foster collaboration, and promote the impact of these projects.
Indeed, and they encouraged everyone to contribute their own success stories, news job postings, even calls for projects to the Interreg platform.
Right. It really reinforces the idea that Interreg is a collaborative effort,
Yeah.
and everyone has a role to play.
Absolutely.
Okay, so shifting gears slightly, we're going to talk about this session called How to Make an OSI Promotion Strategy That Works. And this session focused on those Interreg projects that have the potential to make a real difference. Operations of Strategic Importance, or OSIs.
OSI's right. Got it.
So why are these OSIs so important, and how do we promote them effectively?
Well, OSIs are essentially Interreg's heavy hitters. the projects with the potential to make a significant impact on the EU landscape, and the session provided a framework for promoting them effectively,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of starting early and aiming for long-lasting results through meaningful events.
So you wouldn't just want to have like a one-off event and then let the momentum fizzle out.
Exactly. It's about building sustained engagement.
Right.
And they even mentioned that the European Commission offers support for OSI promotion, including collaboration with communication officers.
That's good to know.
So if you're involved in an OSI, you're not alone.
Right. There's support.
There's a whole network of support available.
And I'm sure that kind of support is really invaluable, especially for, those who are newer to Interreg.
Definitely.
Um, okay, so moving on. There was a session that I think a lot of our listeners will find particularly relevant.
Okay.
It's called Shape the New Academy course on social media.
Social media.
Social media.
That's a big one.
It's a powerful tool, but it can also be a bit of a minefield.
You hit the nail on the head. The session addressed both the potential and the challenges of using social media for Interreg communication.
So what were some of the specific challenges they mentioned?
Well, language barriers can be a major hurdle, especially in a diverse community like Interreg.
Yeah, that's true.
Creating high-quality visuals that grab attention is another challenge,
Right.
as is navigating the less constructive side of the internet, dealing with bots, negativity, misinformation.
Yeah, you can definitely get caught up in the negativity, so it's important to have strategies for, dealing with those challenges.
Absolutely. And they walked us through the potential course content, which includes overviews of various social media platforms, tips for writing, engaging content, and creating compelling visuals, advice on paid promotion, and crucially, how to use analytics to track your progress and measure your impact.
So it's about equipping participants with the knowledge and skills they need to use social media strategically and effectively.
Precisely, not just posting randomly and hoping for the best.
Right, and here's the cool part. Participants will have the opportunity to contribute the content they create during the course to Interreg's official channels.
That is very cool. Talk about real-world application and a chance to make your mark.
Exactly. Win-win. Participants get valuable experience. Interreg benefits from fresh, engaging content.
Right.
I'm already starting to think about revamping my own social media strategy.
Oh, no, right? It really got the creative juices flowing.
It did. Speaking of finding inspiration, the next session, Don't Keep Your Stories for Yourself, was all about uncovering those hidden gems within the Keep.eu platform.
Keep.eu.
It's a treasure trove of data, but sometimes it can feel overwhelming trying to find the most compelling stories.
Absolutely.
So what did they suggest?
Well, they showed us how to use data analysis to uncover narratives that might not be immediately obvious.
Okay.
They shared a fascinating example of discovering a story about cross-border cooperation on the Struvark,
Struvor.
which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site,
Oh, wow.
by analyzing data about project themes and locations in the Baltic Sea region.
So it's like you're a data detective, sifting through the clues
Exactly.
to try to piece together a compelling narrative.
Yeah, but data alone isn't always enough, right?
No,
Eh,
we need to present it in a way that's engaging and accessible.
Exactly, and that's where data visualization comes in.
Right.
They showcased how visually appealing charts and infographics can really boost engagement on social media, making complex information easier to digest and share.
Yeah, people are much more likely to engage with content that's, visually stimulating.
Absolutely.
So what tools did they recommend for creating those visualizations?
They highlighted several user-friendly tools like Canva Visme and Data Wrapper.
Love those.
What's great about these platforms is that you don't need to be a design expert to create professional-looking visuals.
Yeah, they've been a game changer for me.
Right.
They really make data come alive. But, as engaging as all these sessions were, they were just the warm-up act for what came next.
Oh, really?
Day 2 of ICON 2025 was dedicated to a full-day training session led by an external expert
Okay.
on a topic that's absolutely crucial for effective communication.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What is it?
Turning data into stories.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is, and we'll unpack that in more detail right after this.
Sounds good.
Looking forward to it. So are you ready to delve into this turning data into stories training?
Yes, I am. I'm all ears. What were the key takeaways? Well, the training started by emphasizing the importance of understanding your audience. Who are you trying to reach with your data story? What are their interests, their needs, their perspectives?
Yeah, you need to tailor your message to resonate with the people you're trying to reach.
Exactly. And then, it's not just about collecting data haphazardly. The training really stressed the need for a long-term data collection strategy. You need to think ahead, anticipate the stories you might want to tell, and make sure that you're gathering the right data points to support those narratives.
Right. So it's about being strategic from the outset, not just trying to make sense of the data after the fact.
Precisely. And then they also highlighted the importance of finding the right communication angle for your data. This is where you connect the dots, uncover the hidden insights, and figure out what makes your data truly compelling.
Right. This is where the creativity comes in, right?
Yeah.
It's like being a data detective searching for the story within the numbers. Um, did they give any examples of, how to find those compelling angles?
They did. They talked about looking for patterns, trends, and outliers in your data. And they also encouraged us to think about the human impact of the data. How does this data relate to people's lives, their experiences, their aspirations?
That's a great point because data can feel very abstract and impersonal.
Hmm.
But when you connect it to human stories, it suddenly becomes much more relatable and engaging.
Absolutely. And then, of course, they talked about transforming that data into impactful visual content. Think infographics, charts, maps, anything that can help make complex information more accessible and engaging.
Yeah, and this is where those tools that we talked about earlier, like Canva Visme Data Wrapper, really come in handy, right? Because they make it so easy to create professional-looking visuals, even if you're not a design whiz.
Exactly. And they also stress the importance of keeping the visuals clean, simple, and easy to understand. Avoid clutter, focus on communicating the key message effectively.
Less is more, especially when it comes to data visualization.
Yeah.
Did they talk about anything else?
Yes, they also covered how to write effective data-driven press releases. So this is about taking your data story beyond your immediate network and sharing it with a wider audience through media outlets.
Right, because a well-crafted press release can really amplify the reach and impact of your message.
Yeah.
So what were some of their key tips for writing press releases?
Well, they emphasize the importance of a strong headline that grabs attention and clearly conveys the key message. The body of the press release should be concise, factual, and focused on the most newsworthy aspects of your data story.
So cut to the chase.
Exactly. And also include contact information so journalists can easily reach out for more information or schedule interviews.
Great tips. I'm already feeling more confident about using data to tell compelling stories. Did the training involve any hands-on exercises or activities?
Absolutely. They really emphasize learning by we had a chance to work in groups, analyze real data sets, brainstorm story ideas, even create some rough drafts of visual content and press releases.
That's fantastic. There's no better way to learn than by rolling up your sleeves and actually applying these concepts.
I agree. And the group activities also fostered a sense of collaboration and peer learning, which was really valuable.
It sounds like this data storytelling training was incredibly insightful and practical. Um, it's amazing how much information was packed into just one day. But I have to admit, my mind keeps going back to that session on AI and prompt anatomy. It
Yeah.
really piqued my curiosity. Can we
Yeah.
circle back to that and, delve into it a bit deeper? Yeah, let's revisit that AI session and the whole prompt anatomy concept.
Hmm.
What else did we miss?
Well, they really went deep into the specifics of crafting those effective prompts. It's not as simple as throwing a question at ChatGPT and hoping for the best. You need a more strategic approach.
So there's a real art to it. I'm all ears.
Think of it like this. You're giving instructions to a highly skilled but very literal assistant. They need precise directions to deliver the results you want. The session actually drew upon insights from Greg Brockman, the president of OpenAI, to break down what makes a good prompt.
Okay, I'm hooked. What are the key ingredients?
First, you set the stage with warnings. Tell the AI what not to do. This helps to avoid irrelevant or off-topic outputs.
So it's like setting boundaries, making sure the AI stays focused on the task at hand.
Precisely. Next comes the context dump. This is where you provide all the relevant background information project, summaries, key documents, notes, anything that helps the AI understand the project's goals and context.
It's like giving the AI a crash course on the project so it can speak intelligently about it.
Exactly. Then you need to clearly state your goal. What do you want the output to be? A communication strategy, an email template, a social media post? Be specific.
Makes sense. The clearer the instructions, the better the results. Anything else?
Almost the final ingredient is specifying the return format. You want bullet points, a paragraph, a table. Giving the AI examples and templates helps it deliver the information in a way that's most useful to you.
It's like ordering a custom-made suit. You have to be precise about the style, the fit, the fabric.
That's a great analogy. And the session didn't just stop at theory. They walked us through a real-life example using these principles to actually generate a project video with AI.
Wait, this was the example you mentioned earlier where they went from project description to finished video using AI tools.
That's right. They started with a dry, technical project description and used a series of carefully crafted prompts to transform it into an engaging story.
Okay, refresh my memory. What were the steps involved?
First, they refined the project description into a compelling narrative using ChatGPT. They broke the story down into 7 steps: context, problem, idea, solution, how it works, evidence of credibility, and finally, vision and impact.
That's a smart storytelling framework.
Yeah.
It ensures the narrative is clear, concise, and impactful. What did they do next?
They used ChatGPT again to generate a video script based on this story, outlining the key messages for each frame of the video. Then they turned to Midjourney, an AI image generation tool, to create visuals for each frame.
So they were writing prompts to describe the images they wanted, and Midjourney was bringing them to life.
It was amazing to witness. They even used ChatGPT to refine the prompts for Midjourney, ensuring they were detailed and specific enough to generate high-quality images.
Wow, so they were using AI to enhance AI. It's like a collaborative creative process between human and machine. What happened next?
Once they had the still images, they used Runway ML, an AI-powered video generation tool, to animate them. Then they used Canva to edit the animations in sequence, creating a seamless visual flow.
And they topped it all off with AI-generated music using a platform called Suno AI. It's incredible that they were able to create a whole multimedia production with the help of AI.
Exactly, and they even compared the results they got from Midjourney to other AI image generators like DALL-E, Copilot, Freepik, even Google's Gemini.
It's like they were encouraging us to explore the full spectrum of AI tools and find what works best for individual projects.
Absolutely, but they also stress the importance of authenticity, use genuine visuals from real projects whenever possible, and use AI only to fill in the gaps or enhance what you already have.
That makes sense. You don't want the final product to feel artificial or disconnected from the reality of the project. What were some of their final tips?
They emphasize the importance of human oversight throughout the process. AI is a powerful tool, but it's not perfect. Always review the generated outputs carefully and revise as needed.
So it's a partnership. We bring the vision, the critical thinking, and the judgment, and AI helps us execute that vision more efficiently and creatively.
Precisely. And they encouraged us to embrace the spirit of experimentation. Don't be afraid to try new tools, combine different platforms, and see what works best for your specific needs.
This is what I find so inspiring about Interags. It's all about pushing boundaries, embracing innovation, and finding new ways to collaborate and achieve shared goals.
ICON 2025 was a perfect example of that spirit in action.
Yeah.
It left us feeling energized, inspired, and equipped to take our communication to the next level.
So to wrap things up, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to ponder as they embark on their own Interreg communication journeys?
If I had to choose one, it would be this: don't be afraid to experiment with data and AI. These tools have the potential to transform the way we communicate,
Yeah.
but they require a human touch to truly shine. Embrace the challenge, stay curious, and never stop learning.
That's fantastic advice. And for those who want to dive deeper into the topics we discussed today, be sure to check out the materials from ICON 2025 available on the Interact website. It's a treasure trove of resources.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep diving deep.